Hello, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients, however, are all throughout the states, and we only practice immigration law. We practice nothing else other than immigration law. Thanks for joining me. I am streaming live on both Facebook and on TikTok right now. Just make sure, I don't know, it's looking a little fuzzy or something on TikTok, so gonna try. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, all right. Hopefully that works a little bit better. Let me know if you can't see me. Sorry, having some technical difficulties here. But again, if you're just joining, my name is Pratibha, immigration attorney, and I help clients all throughout the United States with all types of immigration issues. So I want to get started today on the question of the day for us. We kind of put one together every time on Facebook. If you're watching from Facebook, we have a question that we start off with, and it's a common question that comes up a lot in our case types. And I go ahead and answer that. And then I go ahead and take your questions. So feel free to think up your questions while I'm talking here, and go ahead and put them in, and I will try to answer them best I can. Our question for today was, I'm separated from my U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, right? So I have a spouse who is a U.S. citizen or green card holder. We're separated. Can I still qualify to apply for my green card? The answer to that is yes. You might still be eligible to apply for your green card even if you are separated from your U.S. citizen or a green card holder. So there are kind of need to see here. Okay, so the first thing is this a marriage that's not just for immigration purposes, right? So anytime we're using marriage-based sponsorship, we have to show that the marriage is not just for immigration purposes. Okay, so say we're going to show that the marriage was that you commingled finances, that maybe you lived together for a certain amount of time, people knew you as a couple, maybe you even had kids. All of these ways to show that this was a bona fide marriage, that it was not just for immigration purposes, and the it is so much good to you as much, right? Because if there were problems in your marriage, if your spouse, for example, I spoke with someone today, their spouse had bipolar disorder. They weren't able to, they were very abusive towards them. They just, use them financially. They hurt them even physically, right? So if you're a victim of abuse, right, and can be an even more extreme situation, but there's a range of the types of abuse that happen. But if you're a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and maybe you don't live with them now, but you did live with them at a certain point, you might still be eligible to receive your green card. Okay, so you might still be eligible to apply for a green card. But remember, this process on your own, and you do require to in that green card process. So what we need is for the marriage to have been bona fide, have it be a real marriage, not just for immigration purposes, and also there have to be problems in that marriage. The relationship has to be in the sense that there issues, friction. So if someone is separated, there is likely to have been some problems in the marriage. So you should call us for a consultation. We are at 703-348-1663. And what happens is that you, once we apply, you're eligible to receive work authorization in about 6 to 8 months and a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. So give us a call. The benefits are huge if you qualify. Okay. Someone is asking, thanks so much for joining. Kush says, hi. Hi, Kush. How are you? Hey, Shell. How are you doing? Faith says, right now, how much time will it take to get your spouse? A I-130 petition is filed in May 2021 for my husband. I'm a citizen. Well, one, it depends on where your husband is located, right? So apply for a green card, no matter where the spouse is located, the first part is kind of always the same. If you're in the U.S., you might be lucky enough to do two parts at the same time, right? So in the U.S., if your spouse is in the U.S., they qualify, and you apply for a green card for them. it takes about, I would say, a year and a half or so to be able to get that green card completely approved. Sometimes a little bit longer. Of course, there are delays with COVID, but generally that is the time frame. So if you're wondering, what is the time frame to apply for a green card for my spouse in the US, if all things are equal and normal, right? That's about a year and a half to 2 years, I would say, in the US. Okay. The next question is, let's see. Oh, sorry. Let me get back to your other, if you're spouse abroad, how long does it take to apply for the green card? If they're not in the United States, they're located somewhere else, how long does it take? It takes a much longer time. I would say at least 2 years, maybe a little bit longer even, because the process is multi-steps and you can't do things at the same time. So it's always preferable, at least how I think of it, it's preferable. I would prefer if your spouse was to apply for a green card at that point. Of course, not everyone is able to do that. So there are two different ways, but give us a call if we can help you with sponsoring any family members outside the U.S. We are located right out of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but our clients are all around the U.S. And some of them are international also. So we can definitely help you no matter where you're located. Give us a call. We're at 703-348-16. Faith says the current time frame. Yep. Yes. Okay. He says he's in Pakistan. I'm here. How much income do you need to provide for an affidavit of support? So, Faith, how much income do you need to provide for an affidavit of support? So that's it, and it depends on your size, right? If it's just you and your husband, that means probably about $20,000 or so. If it's just two people. But the amount of income that is required changes based on the size of your family and how many people you've sponsored in the past. It's a little bit of a calculation. Give us a call and we can answer some of those questions. 81663. Another question, and go ahead and put your questions in. Obviously, the advice I give right now it can't be considered legal advice because they can be considered legal advice because it's essentially there's so many people on right now. It's not confidential. If you want to create an attorney-client relationship with our firm, you should call our office, schedule a consultation. We do our consultations by phone. So you let Ara, who's answering, let her know how you would like to proceed, and we can definitely schedule a consultation with you. If you're local, I'd love to see you in person. We're just opening that up right now, but otherwise I'm happy to do it by Zoom or by phone. Come down and see us in too. We're located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the United States. All right. Hi, Tim Ray. Nice to see you. Another question that we get pretty often is, if you have applied for asylum, does it make sense to then apply for a green card through your spouse as well? Right? If you've applied for asylum, does it make sense to apply for a green card also through your spouse? I believe that a green card is a stronger application. It has a lower burden of proof than you have to show less things. It's easier to prove certain things with a marriage-based green card than with asylum. So it doesn't hurt to have both going at the same time. And you have two options at that point. I wouldn't file two at the same time. If I had to choose, I would choose the green card over asylum, right? Because I think it's hard to that you're afraid to return to your home country. But a marriage that is real is easier to prove because you're living with the person, you know their daily routines. If you qualify, if you income qualify, that's fine too. So that all of that kind of is easier to government, I think, than I'm afraid to return to my home country because I will definitely be harmed if I return. All right. Great. Hi, Emily. Nice to see you. So that is our next question. Okay. So question that I want to, unless you have other ones that you're posting today, the last question I want to touch on is I've entered with someone else's passport or green card, and now I'm married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. So we have the situation where many people come in, or they came in kind of many years ago. The systems are a little bit more secure now, but they came in many years ago using a friend's visa, using a friend's passport, right? Maybe it's not a US citizen passport, they're just using a friend's visa or passport to enter the country. What can I do now that I'm here? I have a child who's 21, or I have married now, but I didn't have a legal entry. How can I now get a green card? Right? There are still possibilities. There are ways that you might qualify still to apply for and receive a green card if you entered with someone else's visa or passport. Okay, so what happens then is, again, it's dependent on the relationship between you and your current spouse. If you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, it's dependent on that relationship and how and basically what's happening in that relationship. All right, but you might be eligible to apply for a green card still if you entered with someone else's passport. You can get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months, and you would be eligible to receive a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. Okay, I hope that is helpful. It is so nice to see so many of you on here today. We're streaming again live on both Facebook and on TikTok. If you're joining us for the first time, I would suggest make sure you like us on Facebook. We're at Agarwal Immigration. That is our handle. And on TikTok, it is also Agarwal Immigration. Okay, I hope everyone has a good evening, and I will see you soon, and hope some of you give us a call for consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. Thank you.